Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So this is my custody video. I've got some awesome information to pass on and speak about. I was speaking to all the designers about the Custodes, the people who wrote the book and stuff. So this is all the information I managed to gather. I've probably forgotten a few things, but if you've got any questions at all, just put me in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them and give you any answers I possibly can about the actual event. I am very tired, so excuse my voice if it may drop out because I've been driving for like 4 or 5 hours now for just getting there and back. So let's jump in and let's get started. So I've got this written down. This is probably my first scripted video. So I'm going to start with the actual Custodes Codex. So for those of you who've seen my Twitter updates and Facebook feeds, they do have a Custodes Codex now. I wasn't allowed to go through the Codex. They said you can only look at it through the cabinet. We weren't allowed to get it out and actually look through it, which was a shame. And we asked what is the release date for all these new Custodes stuff, and they did say it's very soon. The way they were speaking about it, I would probably say within 2 months' time. Where we're actually going to see these Custodes being released. The actual models we were actually looking at in the display cabinet were actual resin models, because they said firstly what we tend to do is do all in resin while the plastic molds were being done. So everything that we were looking at were actually resin models, but these are going to be in plastic. It's going to be a fully Custode plastic range coming from GW itself. The book itself, the Codex, the Custode Codex, only contains Custode stuff. There's no Sisters of Silence in there at all or anything else. It's just purely Custode stuff. I asked them, what does that mean for the Sisters of Silence? Are they going to get their own Codex? Are they going to get something like what's going on with the Custodes at the moment? Are they going to get like a big release and stuff? And he said, for now, we're just trying to get out and finish most of the armies before we start looking at the Sisters of Silence and stuff. So from what I got from that is that they'll probably push out all the armies which haven't got codexes at the moment, and then probably come back and revisit the Sisters of Silence. So we have Terminator squads now for the Custodes in 40k, and these can be assembled two different ways. You have two squad variants you can make in there. So you can either make a squad of the captain, the standard bearer, and I think it's just another Terminator with them, or you can just make 3 Terminators with some of the with the bits that are in the boxes. Remember the box that got leaked the other night and stuff like that, and of course you've probably seen the pictures on the screen now. So you can make 2 variants from one box of models. They did say that these Terminators can be taken as a single model, so you don't have to take a squad of 3. You can actually just take one if you wanted to. I think that's a really useful thing if you're trying to squeeze certain models into your armies, and not just a Custode army, maybe as like an ally army. So you can probably just take like one of these Custode models, because apparently from the playtest they were doing, they're really good at taking on horde armies. I was speaking to the designer and one of the writers, and they both had a playtest, and he brought like, I think it was like 30 orcs, and these were like, hard hitting orcs and stuff like that, and the Custodes just ripped through him. I think he managed, the orc guy managed to take down 1.5 of the Custode unit of 3, and they managed to take down like the full horde of orcs, and that was in the playtest. So I don't know if those are the rules that's still in play at the moment, but they did say that the actual Custode Terminators, and well, the full theme of the Custode force is very brutal when it comes to horde based faction forces on the tabletop. And for the normal Custode foot sloggers, which is the guys with the spears or the shields and the swords and stuff, there is some new rules for these, where these can be taken in squads of 3. Remember when you can only take them in squads of 5? Me and my friend Mark Ozine spoke to some of the designers about the problem of some of the stuff with the Custode forces, that you had to take like 5 and you had these points left over. Well, what they were saying, that we kind of understood that. So what we're doing now is that you can take a minimum of 3 and a max of 5 of the normal Custodes in a group. So it can save you points. It can, you can fit them into your armies just a little bit more. All in all, they didn't really say more about those at all. They were more focused on some of the other units. Some of the pictures you're seeing now on the screen, there is a white guy. There's a custodian white armor and there's a custode in black armor. I was really intrigued about this, and I asked them what does it mean, and they said within the custode forces, you're going to be seeing in the Codex, is different branches. So the white guy in the white armor is someone who is who protects the chapter relics and the kind of gene seed kind of aspects of the Custodes, and the one in black is more or less like the keeper of secrets. It's more of a I wouldn't say a dark like evil path, but he's more of a mysterious kind of figure, which is really, really cool. The different branches, so you can do different color schemes and stuff, because I know not everyone likes to do a fully gold army, so now you do have some options. Like I said, I couldn't really look inside the Codex myself because they didn't allow me to. They had it cracked open like a slight bit at the top, and if you vibrated near the cabinet, it opened the pages a little bit. So I was just like rocking the table a bit, like trying to get it open, but it didn't open. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I couldn't use my momentum to breach open the Custodes Codex and get some juicy gossip. Moving on to the jet bikes. Firstly, these things absolutely blew me away. I think these were the best units there. I just love the design of these. They smash the design of the 30k ones completely out the park. They are absolutely gorgeous. These pictures don't do them justice. They are an amazing piece of kit. I cannot wait to buy these. So I was asking stuff about these, and as you can see from the pictures, they have a lance, and I said, is the lance the only option? And they did say the lance is the only option for now. I did discuss maybe Forge World upgrade kits. Is that going to be a thing with maybe these? And they said, yeah, everything at this moment in time is how you see it, but of course with the Forge World being the way they are, he said he could probably see that Forge World will come in and maybe do some upgrade kits on these on the actual jet bikes themselves, and also on some of the normal units that you actually see on the foot at the moment. I asked him how will these be sold, because they're fabulous models. Are they going to be sold singular or in a group pack? And he did say they definitely will be sold in a pack of 3. So you're going to be getting all these for a pack of 3. I don't know how much is that going to cost. I'm thinking around £40 to £50. Maybe. He didn't confirm any of the prices. Well, he said he doesn't know, and if he did know, he probably won't be allowed to tell me anyway. So I'm probably going to guess the way Forge World have been pricing stuff these days. Sorry, not Forge World. GW have been pricing stuff these days. I'm probably going to say around £50 for these jet bikes. But they're beautiful. I can't convey how nice these models are, chaps. They are just absolutely brilliant. I went for some food. I came back to look at them. I just didn't want to leave the cabinet because the models were just absolutely beautiful. I'm not trying to hype it up at all. They were just beautiful looking models. Now, one of my main concerns with Custodes was the movement. The way Custodes are at the moment, they're a very slow moving army in my opinion. So I was asking a lot of questions on like transports and the movement and stuff like that. I said, is there any new tanks coming? Because at the moment all we have is the Land Raider, and I don't think the Land Raider really fits with the Custodes, especially with all the hovertech out now and stuff. And he said, well, at the moment the Land Raider is just a transport that they've got. I asked about Deep Strike, and he did say, yeah, Deep Strike is definitely coming back for the Custodes. He spoke about Deep Strike stratagems. That's going to be one of the main aspects of the Custodes with their Codex. I was trying to pry him for a little bit more on the movement and stuff like that, but I could tell that they didn't really want to speak about that. They wanted to try and keep a few things to themselves, because of course, as someone who's played Custodes with this new edition, one of my main concerns with movement, so I was trying to convey that to him, that the problem with the Custodes is the movement, and he was like, don't worry about that. You are going to have a lot of different ways to move your force around on the battlefield, so you can take it easy, and I am going to take his word for it. Just as long as we have some kind of deep strike, I think I'm going to be happy. So I think it's like I said, it's going to be a stratagem. So we'll see how many point cost and if it's more than once a turn and stuff like that. But again, that all comes with the Codex review, which hopefully will be soon. Forge World were there as well, and since Forge World were there, I couldn't help going over and asking them about the Custodes now being released in 40k. They did have some of their Custodes on show. What I mean by their Custodes, like the Custode Flyer, all their variants of their Custode Dreadnoughts and stuff like that. And I asked, now that the 40k stuff has come out for the Custodes, will we be seeing Forge World and these models that have already come out now for the Forge World Custodes being brought over to the 40k game? And he did say that yes, they do have plans to bring some models over. For example, like the Dreadnoughts and the Flyer, he can definitely see them being brought over, but not right now. That's going to be sometime in the future. I asked how would that be achieved, and he didn't really say. I think he didn't really know, to be completely fair. I would probably think it's going to be FAQs and stuff like that, but that's nothing right now. At the moment, right now, they haven't really got anything like that planned. That's all in the future, because I was trying to convey to the guy that, with the Flyer from Forge World, I think that would be a really, really good aspect to bring over to the 40k, and it makes sense because it is mentioned in the lore if you read Watchers of the Throne and stuff like that. So all that kind of stuff which is in the 30k is still there in the 40k, so it's just them bringing it over. And I think on a business kind of sense, it's going to make them a ton of money, because I know for a fact that as soon as that Flyer comes for 40k, I'm going to buy it so I can transport my forces across the battlefield. So I'm just going to be waiting for that. They also did say that they are definitely going to be making more stuff for 30k Custodes. Now that the 40k Custodes out doesn't mean they're going to be taking any away from the 30k side of the game. So if you are a Custode fan for the 30k Horus Heresy, then they're still going to be making stuff for that game. They also said that for some of the future releases, they're going to try and aim releases which is both 30 and 40k, so some units which you're going to be able to use in both different game modes. Upgrade kits was something which I again mentioned to these. I was like, what's the plan with upgrade kits? Because of course Forge will do a ton of upgrade kits, and yeah, they were quite happy to discuss it. Nothing again planned, but they said, yeah, we can definitely see us doing a lot of upgrade kits for the 40k Custodes, and adding a bit more spice to them. I asked about Valdor, and they said Valdor is all but done. He's definitely going to be coming this year. They have no idea when he's going to be coming this year, but I think he's probably going to be coming at the next big Horus Heresy event. I think it's the Horus Heresy Weekender in May, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Going back to the 40k designers and the writers and all the people who are around the 40k Custode stuff, of course I was just drilling these guys all day about questions and stuff. And one of the things is why Custodes now, and one of the main things is that Custodes have sold amazingly well. They're one of the best selling armies that GW have put out. So this was, well, he really said this was the right direction. If something sells well, that they're going to be taking the route with that said armor. I said, is this it? Is this all we're going to be getting of Custodes, what we're seeing here? And he said no, they're definitely going to be getting more models for 40k, but of course he can't really go into that. So this is where the kind of speculation comes in now. What else can be brought to the table? Of course, if it was me, I would definitely love some hover tech when it comes to tanks and stuff like that. I'm not really keen on the Land Raider being in the Custode arsenal when I know they've got a lot of hover technology, and especially when the Primaris now have got their own hover technology. It doesn't really make sense for the Custodes to have tracked kind of warfare vehicles, so it doesn't suit them. I'm really hoping that they do get their own variants of skimmers, or whatever you want to call them. All in all, it was an amazing day. Like I said, there's just so much to process at the moment. I've just literally come through my door, sat down, turned my computer on, and just started recording. Like I said, I probably missed some stuff out, but if you want to leave some comments below, ask some questions, I'll do my best to try and put any information across. This is just the Custodes stuff. There's so much stuff to talk about, the demons and all that kind of stuff, but I think I'm going to do a separate video for that because I don't really want to take the glory away from the glorious Custodes. But it was an amazing day. Me and my friend Marcosium, we were so hyped about this. I did put a video out a few days ago, you know, speaking about Custodes, and then lo and behold, we get this huge, massive release, and I was just in so much of a hype mode, waiting outside. I was like first at the door, waiting for me and my friend Marcosium, just stood there in the rain, and it was just it was just an amazing experience. We were just like a pair of kids on Christmas. As soon as we were in, we saw them all. We was taking pictures. It was just amazing. I really can't do it justice, just how awesome it felt just to see them. Custodes are one of my favourite, if not favourite, forces when it comes to 40k. I just love everything about them, how mysterious they are, how awesome, and just how it's just everything about them I absolutely love. But yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic day. I hope I've gave you chaps some information. I've got a ton of pictures. I'll probably try and upload them to like a Google document or something and post them in the comment section if you want to see some like high definition pictures and all that kind of stuff. So if you've, like I said, if you've got any questions at all, please leave them below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you've all enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon with more stuff. So thank you very much for watching, and bye bye. I need to go to bed. See you in a bit, chaps, and bye bye.